Morning, everybody. My name is Jared O'Leary. I've been drumming since 1998, and I still got plenty of stuff to work on. Today, I'm going to be practicing limb independence. I'm going through two variations that are very difficult, and then I'm going to review some ones that I've already graduated from. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. Now, on my channel's home tab, you can find literally thousands of free drumming videos and whatnot. But this particular playlist has all of the live streams of me practicing the drums and answering questions. Think of this kind of like office hours. I'm here to practice. If you have questions about how to perform or how to get better at teaching, then I can help out with that. And if you're like, why are you qualified to do that? I've been drumming for almost 30 years, and I have a bachelor's, master's, and PhD in music education, so I've taught every grade kindergarten through doctoral student. So I've got a range of performing and teaching experience. So people will often ask me questions about both of those, and I will often edit them and put them into this drumming tips playlist that has over 16 hours of me answering Q&A. So for example, like should your wrist line up with your forearm is the first thing that I talk about in this video, while this one is what is touch when drumming. And if it says and other drumming tips or and other teaching tips, that means there are more topics inside of there. That might be of more interest if you're not interested in that particular thing. Now you can find this under the tips and lessons section on my home tab or on my website. Now, because I'm not good at limb independence yet, I am practicing stuff I'm not good at yet, which is what I recommend for everybody who actually wants to improve. We're going to have Shia LaBeouf here to help me out to get better. So Shia, help me out here. I want to improve my limb independence. Motivate me. Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success. Well, you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not gonna stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it. Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Oh, wow, Shia LaBeouf. I'm so motivated now. One more flex for good luck. Now, I am practicing out of a book. The book that I'm practicing out of is called 50 Ways to Syncopation. It's by Dom Moyle. I've gone through all 50 of the ways that Dom has written out to work on limb independence inside of here. And the way that I was doing that is largely based off of Gary Chester's idea of limb interdependence that he talks about in New Breed 1 and New Breed 2. And you can actually find links to those all the way down in the tips and lessons section, or if you go to /gear, you can find that. But on my website, which is linked up here, /drum, it's at the top of each one of the descriptions of the thousands of videos. You can find all of these thousands of free drumming videos. There's 80 chop exercises. I tried to work on my chops yesterday, and then my internet crashed. So like 15 minutes into the stream, it went away. That was unfortunate. But you can also find over 1,000 grid variations here. There's a bunch of triplet ones, there's a bunch of 16th note ones, and then there's some wacky ones like hurt to grid, etc. There's also the limb independence section. Every single one of these links to how to develop limb independence. It's the second video in every one of these playlists, or you can just click right here. And it shows you step-by-step how to develop limb independence using these free resources inside of here. There's almost 500 marching bass drum stuff. There's a bunch of drum line cadences and score format. There's over 200 sight reading exercises and like 60 some odd more that are coming out soon, or at least scheduled to release soon. Stay tuned. They're in my drafts folder. There's over 400 technique exercises. And then here's where you can find 16 hours of drumming tips in this playlist alone, as well as a bunch of scripted lessons like how to hold traditional grip, or why I think metronomes are overrated for drummers, etc. But inside of here, it also links to the percussion dictionary, which I don't really mention much. But if you go to here, it actually has a bunch of short definitions of different things. So if you're like, well, what does this mean? If you get a part that says Schlauchstück, I don't know how to pronounce that. It means bell. Or Schallbecken means cymbals, etc. So can be helpful if you're a percussionist like myself, and you're like, what is this thing? But this thing, the books and gear that I recommend, /gear on my website, this actually has the book that I was just mentioning, 50 Ways to Syncopation, as well as New Breed 1 and New Breed 2, which I also mentioned earlier, and then a bunch of other books Here's the hardware I'm using, like the low volume cymbals and the silent stroke heads, etc. Check that out if you're interested in it. Guitar, swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. All right, so we're doing limb independence. Now, the pattern that I'm working on is one that I'm not proficient at yet. So inside of the spreadsheet, this keeps track of like all of Dom's 50 ways to work on syncopation charts as well as limb independence. But also it's got some extra ones that I've come up with. Column A keeps track of how am I doing on average across each one of these. So this one is your basic swung pattern, while you're doing short note on the snare drum, long note on the bass drum, and on average across all these different times that we've gone through it, it is technically proficient, which means I'm able to play the ink on the page, and it feels comfortable. Ideally, I want to get it to musical, which means I add in extra timbres, textures to make it sound more interesting. But any of the patterns that are meh or needs a lot of work are the ones that I'm sitting with until on average they become technically proficient. So the spreadsheet is a bit overkill, but it allows me to focus on the patterns that I'm not good at yet. So we're skipping all of these ones that are technically proficient in musical, and we're working on these that are the last two that I've kind of come up with for the moment, and I've just put it on the screen. So this first one that I'm going to use to warm up with, so what it's doing is a 3/4 pattern. So you have this ride pattern if you were to play it at a 16th notes. It's a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, okay, cool. That's fairly basic. But if you instead play those as triplets instead of as 16th notes, you'll have. So we're going to do that pattern with hi-hat on 2 and 4. So technically you're doing 3 in the space of 4 quarter notes, which makes it a 3/4. And it's technically a straight pattern while I'm going to swing some charts, 8th notes on snare, and anything longer than that is going to go on the bass drum. How am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to use the charts that are on my website or on my YouTube channel, whichever one you want to go to, either the home tab or the link that's at the top of the screen. And I'm going to the swung charts. I'm going to play this at 125. So inside of the swung charts from 100 to 159, I can pick any one of these. I'm just going to pick a random one. 31 through 35 sounds great. And in the timestamps of the description for all of these thousands of free play-alongs, you can pick a BPM, going one click at a time. So I want to play this at 125, so I'm going to click right here. And then I'm going to practice to it. So it's going to count off in my headphones. You can't hear the count off, but it's there. When you practice with your headphones, you'll hear it. 2, 1, 2, ready, and. So again, the pattern is that hi-hat on 2 and 4. While playing 3/4, 2, 1, 2, here we go. My snare trigger is not working for all of them. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Sweet. My headphone's like hitting my arm. All right, so on the first line, at the top of each one of these 55 drum charts, you can either improvise or just play the ostinato, whatever you want to do. Here we go. Very cool. Oh, thank you. It's a fun pattern. I can't speak. It's very difficult, though. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. If you're like, what are you playing right now? If you're on the vertical stream, it's right above me. If you're on the horizontal stream, it's above the sheet music. But it's a 3/4, straight over swung. A 1, oh no, 2, wish me luck, 2, here we go. You. Ooh. Oh no! Saying I love you to my wife. Mendoza. Worth it though. Alright, cool. So that is pattern number 52. And overall, like, was mostly technically proficient while playing through it. So let's put that down. We did it 125. Other than when I chose to love my wife, I made a mistake. So pattern number 52. Warmed up with that. Yay. Now, the next one that I'm going to do after I do a quick stretch and massage routine is pattern number 53. Now, I'm going to paste it here so you can get a preview of it. If you want to try and figure out. It's on the vertical right here, and on the horizontal, it's down at the bottom. We'll play through that with 5 more charts here in just a couple of minutes. So the first stretch that I'm going to do is going to stretch the sides of the forearms. You take your sticks, you hold your palms facing up, you pull in, you push through. It feels great. It's a weird looking stretch, but on my home tab of YouTube, if you go to the tips and lessons section, there's over 16 hours of free drumming tips in there. But in the drumming lessons playlist, there's a video that shows you this stretch and massage routine, including some extra stuff like for rotary motions, like Steven's grip, if you do 4 mallet stuff, or if you do traditional grip, it shows you some stretches for that. But I don't do those anymore, so I'm not going to worry about that. Now I'm going to stretch the underside of the forearm. So I'm pulling back just gently right here. It's stretching along here. You don't need to pull hard. You can also do this one on the wall. The lower you go, the deeper the stretch. You can do that, but don't put your weight into it. You don't want to, like, pull anything. That'd be bad. And I'll switch the other side. But doing on the wall makes it go like twice as fast, which is nice. The last forearm stretch I'm going to do is stretching the top side of the forearm. So you basically the same thing that I was just doing, except now you're going the opposite direction. So you could do it like this. So you could do this one on the wall as well. The higher you go, the deeper the stretch. Or you could just do this one on your legs. And then it goes twice as fast. And then we're going to do a quick stretch for the fingers, quick massage, and then we're going to play through this wacky soca pattern that you can see on the screen. It's difficult. Stretching thumb to thumb. Goes twice as fast for the fingers. Doot, 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 doot. And next. And next. Is it going to pop? Nope. Sometimes we get an ASMR experience. Free of charge. You don't have to be a paid member for that. Which, speaking of, jokes aside, so there are around like 600, I think, members first videos that are on my home tab, but they're all scheduled to release for free. So to like get that early access, it's 99 cents. It's the cheapest I can make it on YouTube. But I promise they're all coming out. It just might be literally like a year and a half from now because there's so many of them. But I grind out these play-alongs every day. Like I've got, I think like 60 in the draft folder right now. So stay tuned for more. But if you want that early access, just click the join button. It's 99 cents. And it gives you like a 600-ish videos. Or just wait. I promise it'll come out. I don't sell my content. Nothing behind a paywall. I just had so many, I was like, well, if people want it, you can get it. So I'm massaging the forearms right now. Now I'm going to massage the hand. Fingers massage the backside of the hand. Thumb massages the palm. Just kind of work your way around. It feels great. And then we'll massage the fingers real quick. And then I'm going to get through this wacky soca pattern that you see on the screen. So the soca pattern is a 3/4. So I'm playing 3 patterns within the space of 4 quarter notes. Base the tip of each one of the fingers. So it creates a really interesting conflict between the feet. Because the right foot is going to play anything that is longer than an 1/8 note on the charts that I'm going to read through. But the left foot is playing a constant buckets, buckets, buckets. So it's got that shup on the release. So stay tuned for that. Why, hello. I don't understand what your question is. Anyways. Here. Okay, so last time we did this particular pattern, we did it up to 125. I think that might be a little brisk, so I'm going to try it at 115. So what am I going to do here? So the pattern that I'm playing is this. So a soca pattern for the hi-hat, you 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, 4 EN, 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, 4 EN. But you put a shup on it, so on the release. Okay, so that pattern, that's as 16th notes. But instead of playing as 16th notes, I'm going to play them as triplets. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. So I'm fitting 3 of those in the space of 4 of the quarter notes, okay? How do you treat the back? What does that have to do with drumming? I'm curious. Are you talking about with a carrier or what? Now, to get to these play-alongs, by the way, you can find this on the Home tab. So if you go to the Home tab, there's literally thousands of free drumming videos here. You have to click on the header for each of them. Oh, but you can't see it. But you have to click on the header for each one of these. And when you click on the header, then it shows you like all the playlists for it. So this is like chop stuff if you do drumline. But then there's also over 1,000 grid variations here. This is where I'm practicing today, is this limb independence section. But there's marching bass drum stuff. There's drumline cadences and score format. There's sight reading exercises, over 400 technique exercises. And then again, over 16 hours of drumming tips inside of here. When people like ask me questions in these practice streams, I'll often edit them, put them into this playlist. But there's a ton of content inside of here. But that stretch and massage routine that I just quickly went over, inside of this video, the thumbnail that says pain-free drumming, this has a very quick demonstration of the stretches and massages that I just did, as well as some extra ones if you do rotary motions like traditional or Stevens grip, as well as some stuff if you march with the carrier. So check that out if you're interested in it. But I'm in the limb independence section. which when you click on here, you can find all these different playlists inside of here. And I'm playing at 115 beats a minute. So I'm going to go into the Swung drum charts. And I just did 31 through 35. So I'm going to go ahead and just go to the next set. But I will say that every single one of these limb independence playlists in that section links to this video, how to develop limb independence on the drum kit. And it shows you step by step how I'm practicing this kind of stuff to try and improve. So this pattern that I'm not good at yet, I'm playing at 115. So I go into the timestamps and I say 115, and then it counts off in my headphone. You can't hear it because there's like a sync delay, so I've muted it, but it's there. Okay, so the pattern I'm playing is up there. Again, it's a 3/4. Soca feel. So the quarter note. Wow, that was great. We're doing good. 1, 2, 1, 2. Wish me luck. Am I familiar with the rhythm of Caribbean music? Some. Not a lot. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. I keep hitting my stick. I want to have everything compact, but for this particular pattern, make it so that my snare drum hits my hi-hat stick. Whoops. I need to get it out of the way. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. One, 2, 3, 4, while going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 2, 1, 2. Here we go. That was a Hooked on Phonics issue. I read it wrong. I'm so sorry. Unsub. I get it. Okay. Chart number 40. This is the last one we'll do with this particular pattern. 1, 2, 1, 2. Ready, and... Ugh, that's difficult. Melts my brain. So I think 115 is a little fast still. It was mostly technically proficient. Had some issues where my stick just hit and messed up the rhythms. Or, I read things wrong. But overall, it was like making progress on it. And it was mostly technically proficient. Next time, I'm going to write a note for myself to basically like, hey, play it 110. So we'll slow it back down just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to play through a much easier pattern. Okay, so... playing 3/4 straight over swung, don't start there at all. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually review Dom's book. I haven't played through this in a while because I've been working on these very difficult patterns. So this is called 50 Ways to Syncopation by Dom Moyle, and it's a great book. Highly recommend it. So inside of it, it's got 50 ways to work on limb independence. The very first one, we're just going to start reviewing going through 1 through 50. Let me paste it up here. The very first one is your very basic ding, ding, ding. So, ding, 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 while you play the snare drum for the chart. So you'll play... Okay, 2 and 4 on the hi-hat. Your standard ding, ding, ding on the ride. And let's see, last time we played this... at 180. Alright, let's try it. 180. So I'm going to go back to my home tab. I'm going to scroll down... past the chop stuff, past the grid variations, in the limb independence section. And again, if you're like, well, how do I practice? What do I do to improve? There's over 16 hours of tips inside of here. And you're like, why would I trust you? I've been drumming for almost 30 years, and I've taught every grade kindergarten through doctoral student, so I have a range of performing and teaching experience. So that might be why. But if you still don't trust me, you can still use these resources. Anyways, we just played 30, 60, 40, and you can find these charts all the way from 40 beats a minute all the way up to 240. So whatever BPM you want to go at in between that. I'm going to play this at 180, so I'm in the timestamps, and I'm saying 180. And we'll see how this goes. Sometimes going back to an easier one feels really weird after playing like the weird 3/4. 1, 2, ready, and ding-a-ding-ding-a-ding. Okay, so we're going to play everything on the snare drum. Our right foot is literally going to do nothing. It's weird how the trigger didn't pick up some of those loud notes. I'm adding in extra embellishments to make it more musical. So extra volume changes, some crushes. You can't hear all the buzzes and whatnot, like this is a buzz. Because the drum trigger doesn't pick it up. Wah, wah. Wah, two. A 1, 2, ready, and. Now, because I wasn't good at those first two patterns that I like warmed up with and then played through, the 3/4 stuff, I'm not adding in the different timbres and textures that I'm doing right now because I'm more comfortable. I don't know why the trigger's not picking up all those notes. That one was actually written in 5/8 over a 4/4 chart. It's fun. Interesting phrasing. 1, 2, ready, and. Oops, read that wrong. Cool. All right, so that review went well. It was mostly musical. It was adding in more than just the ink on the page. I had fun while doing it. Now, because I'm doing review after just practicing the stuff I'm not good at, I'm going to just leave myself like a little note to say like, hey, I've reviewed that one, and then I'm just going to go to the next one. So each one of these streams, again, I'm focusing on the stuff that I'm not good at yet. So I'm starting with these patterns that on average need a lot of work, 52 and 53. But now that I'm starting to feel comfortable with those, I'm actually going to go back and review all these ones that I haven't played in quite some time. So the next one that I'm going to do is your basic way that you would read a jazz chart. And it's the same idea. The only thing we're changing is we are now adding in the bass drum on anything longer than an eighth note. So last time I played through this, I played it at 160. Sure. Okay, so I just did 41 through 45, so I'm going to go back to my home tab, and I'm going to do 46 through 50. So we're going to the limb independent section, but if you're not into drum set, if you're a rudimental drummer like myself, check out the chop stuff, or the grid stuff, or more importantly, check out the technique section. There's over 400 videos inside of there, and then tips on how to practice all of them, over 16 hours of that. But since today we're working on this one, I'm going to 160, and I'm going to do the next set of charts. So I'm doing it swung. There's also the same charts, but straight. And there's 55 charts total. 50 of them normal, and then this one that's advanced that has some tenuto markings. But we're going to go ahead and do this. So at 160, I go to the timestamps, click the BPM. It counts off. 2, ready, and. And then I start read through 4 or 5 charts, rather. Because there's so many charts inside of here, this makes it so that I can practice sight reading, because I don't remember what these are. So just that subtle change of playing long notes on the bass drum, it just makes it sound so much more interesting. And again, this is like the basic way that you read through a lot of jazz charts. 1, 2, ready, and. Oops. I read those as long. There's a short in between them. It's weird when you have those upbeats. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and. On the top line of each of these like 55 drum charts, you can either just play the ostinato to kind of like recenter yourself on it, or you can improvise, treat it as 8-bar solo. Sweet, last chart. And then we'll do another variation. I forget what pattern. Oh, wow. Gravity. It still works. Oh yeah, I like it. Cool. So 160, it was musical. Had fun with it. I enjoyed it. Boop. And that. And now we scroll back to here. So the next pattern is right hand plays the line on the tom. The left hand fills triplets on snare. Left foot on 2 and 4. Ooh. Okay, so these next two are actually really cool. Now we're starting to get into some, like, fancier stuff. That was very basic. So I'm gonna paste it right here. Wait till we get to the pattern number 4 right after this, so it gets even wackier. But I'll actually be right back in like 1 minute. There's like something on my stick. It's like sticky. Yeah. I think it's because the drum bag, there was some brushes in here. And I think the rubber on it melted a little because, you know, Arizona. The summer heat melts all things. But it was like sticky while I was playing, which was kind of funny. All right, cool. So this pattern, you're like, what is this? So it's here if you're on the vertical, and if you're on the horizontal stream, you can find it there. So what we're doing is playing through the charts like this, while filling in triplet ghost notes on snare drum. Now, you can't hear like all these little taps on the E8010 with these silent stroke heads, it just doesn't pick them all up. So I'm going to play them a little bit higher than I would normally do for ghost notes so you can hear them. But basically, you're going to read through charts and go. So anytime you're not playing part of the triplet partial, you're filling it in with the left hand. While doing hi-hat on 2 and 4. Etc. Okay? So that's what we're going to play while reading through these charts. Last time I did this at 145 and it was musical. Woo, that's brisk. Okay. Let's try it. So we're going to go back to the home tab. We just did 46 through 50, so we'll just restart it. Again, there's literally thousands of free videos in here for drumming. I'd highly recommend spending your time in the tips and lessons. This is where, when I'm doing these like office hours where I'm practicing, people ask questions. Over 16 hours of me responding to those questions, so lots of different topics in there. But inside of here, we're going to go to 145, and we'll just do chart 1 through 5. And we're going to read through pattern number 3. So in the timestamps, I'm going to tell it, hey, I want to play this on 145, and then it's going to count me off. But first, coffee. Oishii desu. 1, 2, ready, and so ding, 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 ding. This is the speed we're playing it at. And again, we're reading through the charts while filling it in with triplet ghost notes on the snare. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and. It's quite the workout for your left hand, playing all these triplets. Woo-wee! Here we go. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and. Now you might be like, why would you play this? This is actually a warm-up for pattern number 4, which gets even more complicated. So stay tuned for that. We'll do that here in like 1 minute. 2? More like 2 minutes. Cool. I like it. It's a fun one. Simple compared to what we're about to do. We're going to add in some cymbals and a bass drum on pattern number 4. I'm teasing. Next, we're gonna do, this is the last chart. We're gonna do the same set of charts, so you can hear how it sounds completely different just by changing up this limb independence variation just a little bit. A 1, 2, ready, and... Let's get wacky with it. But first, let me just put in my chart how to do with it. At 145, it was musical. I was adding in extra timbres, textures. Not that you can necessarily hear it with the drum trigger and whatnot, but it's there. Okay. Now, here's pattern number 4. Same idea. Paste it up here. But now, instead of playing everything, now eighth notes are going to be on the tom. Anything longer than an eighth note is actually going to be on the bass drum with the ride cymbal. So you're going to play like quarter notes like and eighth notes. While still filling in with triplets on the snare drum. So you're going to go... Okay, while we read through these charts. So, I'm assuming the same speed will be fine. Well, we play this one a lot more, because it's more interesting. Last time I did it at 130. Let's, for funsies, let's try it at the same speed. So I'm going to go to 145. Click on it again. If you want to go one click slower, one click faster, you can totally do that. It's up to you. Ready, and... So same idea, now we're adding in more complexity that we're layering into this. Here we go. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and... I messed up the hi-hat on one part. I think I hit it on 3 instead of on 4. I'm so sorry. Unsubscribe. I know. I get it. A 1, a 2, same thing. 1, 2, here we go. It's funky. I like it. Now I'm changing the dynamics. I'm adding in accents, making it so that it's crescendos, decrescendos, just to make it more musical. 2, ready, and... 2 more charts, and then I'll see what the next pattern is. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and... When first starting to learn this, it's going to be hard to get the hi-hat on 2 and 4, but that video on how to develop limb independence can help out with that. Again, every single one of the limb independence playlists in my home tab, the second video is how to develop limb independence. Tasty. I like it. So at 145, it was fun. Musical. This spreadsheet keeps track of like how I'm doing whenever playing any of these patterns, but I had fun with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark these as reviewed. So today we reviewed those, and they're good. So tomorrow I will do, what is this one? Hi-hat on 2 and 4, bass drum plays the line. Oh, interesting. Okay. So that one will be interesting. So the melody will actually be in the bass drum instead of like on the snare, or split between it like I was just doing with like that. So we'll review that one tomorrow. So again, I'm starting off the stream by practicing the 2 that I'm not good at yet. So pattern number 52 and 53, that 3/4 straight over swung stuff. They're ridiculously difficult. So I'm skipping all these ones that I'm already like have graduated from. But right now I'm going back and reviewing them because it's been so long since I played a lot of these that I want to do a spot check on them. And once I've reviewed all of them and I've gotten 52 and 53 to feel comfortable, then what I'm going to do is do a stream where I just go through every single one of these particular limb independence patterns in one stream. So that's what we're working toward. And then after that, then we're going to take these to the next level in terms of swapping back and forth between multiple different patterns for each one of the lines. So what do I mean by that? So for example, if we have the first line, ding, 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 and we're playing through... So what I was doing was I was playing through pattern number 2 and then into pattern number 4, and then I switched back to pattern number 2. So you go back and forth between multiple different patterns for each one of the lines. So that's a more advanced way to get through that, and that's what I'm working toward. But right now I've got to prove to myself that I remember all of these 50 plus ways to do the limb independence, and then I'll start working on that more advanced stuff. But if you want to also develop your limb independence or improve your drumming, I've got literally thousands, plural, of videos that can help you out with that. If you're a rudimental drummer like myself, the chop section has a bunch of really fun stuff to play, like the shopping sprees playlist has a ton of really cool old school sprees and some newer ones like Maury spree, etc. Oh, that's funny. I need to replace a battery. I will do that in a moment. There's also over 1,000 grid variations in here. I recommend just focusing on rudiment on 1, so like flam on 1, diddle on 1, flam drag on 1, etc. for both triplets and 16th notes. And there's over 1,000 in there. Don't worry about the wacky ones for now. Just focus on those like variations on 1. This is where I was practicing today. Every single one of these playlists links to the second video, which is how to develop limb independence on the drum kit. So if you're wondering how I'm doing what I'm doing to be able to practice this, this video shows you step by step what I'm doing for it. And if you don't believe me, you can actually go back to the prior streams and see that, yes, in fact, that is what I did in order to be able to work on this. There's a bunch of marching bass drum stuff. There's almost 500 videos in there. There's some drumline cadences and score format. There's sight reading exercises. There's over 200 of those. And then there's over 400 technique exercises. Now, you'll notice some of the videos are listed as members first. So, for example, in this like 16 hours of drumming tips, the first 2 right here are members first. This one comes out tomorrow morning. This one comes out the following Friday. So there's a new play along that releases every single day. So you don't have to pay for my content. I promise it's going to come out for free. But because there's like 600 of them, it might be like a year and a half from now. So if you want that early access, it's 99 cents by just clicking that join button. Literally 99 cents. That's the cheapest I can make it. But I promise it's coming out for free. So if you've got a question, you can either leave it in the comments during a live stream, or you can leave it in the videos. I do respond to all of them as long as you're not a troll. If you're wasting my time, then I ban you to the nether. But if you are actually asking a question that is of value and can help, I will often edit that and put it into this playlist that, again, has over 16 hours of different tips in here. But there's also some scripted stuff here at the bottom, like the drumming lessons, if that interests you. I'm going to call it here, and I'm going to get ready for Ghost of Yote, but I got to go replace the battery in whichever smoke detector is beeping right now, because that's going to be annoying. That beep, by the way, that chirp, that is not normal. That does not mean it's working. That means the battery's low. So if you hear that, fix it. I say to everybody who's in any kind of FPS lobby. Anyways, I'm going to call it here. If you enjoy these free resources, just share it with somebody else. If you don't enjoy these free resources, then share it with an enemy. Goodbye.